advised.
Welcome to the middle of the African bush. We are with a herd of impala that are looking in case there's a predator around. Hopefully we find a predator soon. This is Safari Live. Ready?
Standing by.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. You are live, you are live.
Well, welcome to the African bush. There's an impala with the latest fashion in headgear. I mean, it makes my cap look average. A red-billed oxpecker between the ears, and it pays to be alert if you are one of the prey species. And alert, this impala is standing atop a termite mound with an extra set of eyes. Well, although the eyes are concentrating on removing ticks. I must say, this is one of the most interesting impala shots I've ever seen, Dave. And my cameraman is Dave, and my name is Brent, but we're not... Oh, no, she's thrown the oxpecker off. Now, we've got a bit of a challenge that was laid down in the darkness of the early morning. We have the young gun, the young Turk on jigger, Taylor. Very cheeky Taylor. And she has thrown down a challenge towards the old dog, Brent. Now, to make it a little bit more interesting, she's got the old dog cameraman with her. She's got Vim. I've got the young, dangerous Dave, the hottest thing on the Cape Town beaches this summer, on camera with me. So the challenge is, we were trying to decide what we should compete with. And initially, birds were pandered about, but let's all be honest, if it was birds, I would have won. So we decided to make it a bit more fair. We're going to go with mammals, and we've got our first mammal off the bat, which is the impala. And let's think, do you guys think Taylor's going to find a cat before me? I don't. But remember, hashtag Safari Live on Twitter, or questions@WildEarthTV. This is live. Ooh, the hyenas are even cheering me on. I'm going to go look for that hyena that was calling. And sandy patch is where I hear the hyena. Now, so we're having a mammal challenge. I'm trying to think, the most mammals ever seen on a live safari in one drive, I don't think we've ever counted. So I think if we get over 10 mammal species in one drive, we're doing splendidly. Oh, apparently Taylor is after my hyena. It's my hyena, because I heard it. But anyway, you know what? Being, the old dog, it's time to be dignified and just, teach the youngsters a lesson or two. You see what I'm saying, Dave? Zoom to the right. Bit more, there we go, middle. There's number 2, the grey diker, a little male diker, hanging on the edge of a quarantine. He's looking at us going, what are these mad people doing? I'm just trying to survive out here. Now, let's move on. Oh. Now Taylor is rushing to find the hyena we heard, but I'm hoping the fact that our car was off, that we know exactly where that hyena is. So the challenge is laid down. The most mammal species in a sunrise safari. Let's go. We've got 2 already. Taylor is already in our dust. Let's go see how far in our dust she actually is.
That is the sound that we have just been hearing. Now, good morning, everybody. My name is Taylor, and on camera with me, we've got VM. And he is there sitting at the back, hoping that we're going to beat Brent today. And I believe that he stole my word, because I use cheeky all the time. And I actually called Brent cheeky very early this morning. It's naughty how he's just sort of stolen that from me. It's okay, we'll let him have that one. And, well, yes, I understand that he's 2 ahead already. But imagine if we can find this hyena. I think it deserves bonus points. I don't know about what all of you think, but I think it will be quite a fun challenge today. The birds seem to be the easy ones at the moment. They're out and about in abundance. And where's this hyena? VM? Okay, we're going to quickly go back and jump onto another road, because maybe it was coming towards us. But I also have other good news for you. We had some leopard tracks. We're going to head back to where we had those tracks. I think... See, this hyena has just walked here. Have a look. We won't spend too much time. Actually, I'm not going to jump out for this because I'd like to try and find it. But this is where the hyena has come. It's come running down the road towards us. And it definitely went onto the power line road, or it's somewhere in between here. So now we just need to see if we can quickly find it. Let's backtrack. Let's do that. Hyena, you're very naughty. We wanted to show you this morning. It was so close. It was calling, and it really just sounded like it was just maybe 100 meters away from us. See where it ran in. Okay, let's go back up here, and we'll go back onto Impala Plains Road and see if we can't catch it. Maybe it was going through the bushes. Maybe it's running away from us, VM. I'm not entirely sure this morning. Ooh, very quiet in here. Now I'm feeling the pressure to put any mammal on screen, really. Let's see if we can figure out where this hyena is. Come on, come on. Maybe my whooping scared it. Maybe my whooping impersonations are just so good that I intimidated this hyena. Maybe I shouldn't have done them. I doubt it though. They're not really that realistic. Just check through here. Thank you for everybody for supporting me, and not Brent. No, I'm just teasing. This is going to be a fun competition, but we both know how well competitive Brent is, and I'm quite competitive too. I grew up in a very competitive family, but I don't let it show. I'm quite poised, and I'll just casually go around, and then I'll sneak up with a couple of different mammal species. I hope. I don't want to jinx myself so early. VM, we need to find anything that's mammal-like. Okay, we're not winning here. It seems as though that hyena has given us the slip. It's obviously gone somewhere else. What do you want to do? Do you want to go down here, or do you want to go back to the... VM wants to go here. Let's go. Off my game. Go, Brent. Ah! We have a snail. I don't know if we can see it. There it is. Sorry, Brent, go again. Which tracks are you talking about? Brent says that hyena tracks don't count. We've got a snail though, Brent, and I don't know if the snail counts either. But this is a giant African land snail, and it's actually a really big one. And as you can see, it's in racing mode at the moment. It's actually going very quickly. Hey, VM, will you be able to keep up with it? VM says he's going to try his best to keep up with this beautiful snail. And something that I really love about these creatures is the beautiful pattern that they actually have on their shell. Look at those lovely stripes of brown and white and cream. It almost looks like there's a little tinge of red in there too on their shells. They are just lovely little critters. Now, I'm so sorry, my friend. We're not going to spend too much time with you this morning. just because we've got a hyena to go and find, and well, we've got a leopard to see if we can find one too. So Snail, oh, we're gonna go back now. Oh no, Michael, I'll get you your question now. I've just hooked my jacket. Look what I've done. You pesky, come back here. No, okay, we didn't break everything. Very cheeky tree just came in. We'll go over the top of the snail. We promise I won't drive over it. We'll keep it safe. Here we go. Still alive. VM even didn't trust me. He had to look back. So, sorry, Kirsty, could I have that question? I got very distracted by my jacket that was being taken by a tree. That's a good question, Michael. So Michael's asked this morning, if we see the same animal, does it count in our challenge? Kirsty, what do you think? Do you think we should possibly just see whichever animal we see, whoever gets it first? Okay, let's do that. So I think what we'll do is whoever gets specific animal species, they get to count it as their one. That's how we normally play challenges. So we're on the hunt. We've got to get the easy ones first. We've got to get the Impala. Oh no, Brent's had the Impala. He's had the Commandacus. We've got to get the zebra, the wildebeest. The scrub hare would be nice. Some of those harder ones. And I think we may see a wildebeest. Brent has beaten us to it. Let's go back across to Brent and see how fantastic he's doing this morning.
There we go. I might have lied about where I heard that hyena to send a Taylor in the wrong direction. There it is, the spotted hyena. Unfortunately, it has already moved across our northern boundary. But I'm pretty sure it's the exact same one that was calling. Hello, Howard. Now, currently, their den, I'm just going to move backwards a tiny bit. Currently, their den is about 1.5 kilometers from here in the Manuleti. Oh no, he's going to disappear behind the fence. Oh, you can just see it disappearing to the left, other left. There we go. Oh, come back. Yes, that's a good hyena. We do miss having the hyenas on a regular basis. Yes, we're talking about you. That looks to be a male. Just from its size, it's quite difficult because it is quite far away from us. I do love hyenas. Three species, and we're not even 5 minutes into drive. These youngsters think they can compete. Now, of course, I'm out to use all the tricks. Whoops, except for stalling, which I didn't. Now, what a wonderful start to the morning. Hyenas are not something we're seeing too often at the moment. Now, we've already seen Impala and the grey duiker. Now, an interesting fact about hyenas, that in recent studies, about 80% of the vocalizations are made by males and completely ignored by the rest of the clan. And when a dominant female calls, they all respond immediately. Now, we're going to carry on, but before we do, I have a spectacular thing to show you. And it is not even a mammal. It is just, look at that sky. Isn't that absolutely gorgeous? You can see the rain clouds to the east breaking up. Now, our rain normally comes from that direction, so that might move in over the day. So that is just absolutely beautiful. And the one thing I'm constantly amazed, and even though I've grown up in the African bush and lived in the African bush my whole life, the summer skies that we get are just wonderful, and that is really, really beautiful. I'm taking a moment to enjoy it, but it's not going to be as enjoyable as beating Taylor in the mammal competition. Now, so far we're on 3 species. I don't even know if Taylor's got one. Maybe we should go across to her to give her a chance to catch up.
It's about time, and thank you for coming across to us. We've not only just got this beautiful sunrise for you this morning, we have finally got mammal number 1. Now, if you were doubting VM and our skills, well, it's probably time to give us another chance, even though we've taken a couple of steps, or a few steps behind Brent and trying to catch up. We've got the Wildebeest in the vehicle. And, well, we're looking at one on screen as well. Isn't it beautiful? Looks like an older boy. Look at his horns. They don't look very sharp. They look like they're quite blunt. Look at the tips there. Very much like a buffalo. I suppose you could say. You can always tell by how sort of worn down their horns are, sort of their age. But he looks good. He looks like he's full of life experience. And like I said, that's finally one for us. And I'm quite envious that Brent got that hyena. It was obviously on the move and we just missed it. But we're not going to dwell too much on this wildebeest, and I'll tell you why. It's hopefully we'll find a herd and we'll then continue, as I want to get back to those leopard tracks that I'd spotted a couple of moments ago. So we need to do a little bit of a backtrack now. We'll go around, and they look like female leopard tracks. Hopefully we'll find them again. Right, so we're going to go back to, like I said, on Impala Plains Road. We're going to have a look at those tracks that we had just a moment ago before we got distracted by the hyena. And I know that Ellen has sent through a request this morning. She said that that Karula's cubs are on Cheetah. We were wondering if we could possibly follow up on Karula. Who knows whose footprints we've got here? I know this is sort of probably more Shadows territory. She likes to come around this side closer towards Triple M, but you never know. We've seen Karula once, remember, all the way on the Buffels Hook cut line, and well, we didn't know where her cubs were. They were quite far away, so it could be anybody really. The problem is though, is that when I jumped out to have a look at them initially, we could only see just a couple of sets of tracks, and it's definitely from last night. So I'm not sure where she went, if she just very quickly crossed the road. We'll go back and we'll try and have another look. Maybe we find this leopard on the way. And oh my goodness, Brent, you are on fire this morning. You know this is it. Sometimes your day is your day, but Brent has got another hyena for you.
Is Taylor already making excuses? But we've got another hyena here, and I'm quite interested in its behavior. Oh, I recognize this hyena. It looks like one of the clan females. The way she was looking initially, I was almost hoping the lions were close by. And look at that massive neck. I mean, most gym bunnies would wish to develop muscles that just come naturally to a hyena from carrying carcasses around. And I do have such a soft spot for the spotted hyena. Often misunderstood creature. Look how she's using her ears to listen. Dave, just go above the hyena, just check down the road. I thought I saw something move in the distance. Way down in the distance. Over there. He must be an Impala dashing across the road. Let's get a bit closer. How's it? Dan, welcome on the Sunrise Safari. Dan would like to know, is it true that the laugh of a hyena tells the age and social standing in the group? I wouldn't say the laugh or the cackle that's so famous. Oh no, where are you going, hyena? I wouldn't say it tells the age, but I think other hyenas can definitely tell who's calling. As I said, 80% of the calls are made by males and completely ignored. So it definitely tells the social standing of an individual. So depending on how important you are, depending on who reacts to your cackling or call. So that the laugh you're talking about, Dan, really only happens when hyenas are excited. When they're excited, they put their tails up, and there's a couple of reasons that they do it. One, lions on a kill, pretty obvious one. They get excited, they rally the troops, call them in. Two, a fight between individuals in the same clan. Number three, if they find pastings or scent marks of another clan or on the clan boundary, then they start cackling, and what they're doing, oh, she's coming back towards us, is calling the rest of the clan in for backup. And obviously, along with three, if they meet another member of another clan, the attack will be brutal. They are incredibly brutal animals, even to members of their own clan. Now, out of all our African predators that we see regularly here, they are by far the smartest. Hello, Crystal. Crystal is definitely one of our hyena experts, as that hyena is literally meters behind us. Crystal seems to agree with me. She thinks it's a female. She thinks it could be Corky, who's missing the tip of one of her ears, and she just wants to have a look at the spots to make sure. Crystal, hopefully you got a good view of the spots. I'm definitely going to stick with this hyena while it is on the move. Now, as I said, the clan's den is now in the Manuleti, about 1.5 kilometers from where we saw the last hyena, so she could be moving through there. I didn't get a good look at her mammary glands, but if it is Corky, she's not going to be lactating at the moment. Oh, there we go, something is... Oh, wait, listen. There are monkeys alarming back where we saw the last hyena, and that's definitely not from a hyena. Monkeys don't alarm at hyenas. Johan. Johan, there's monkeys alarm calling back towards Sydney's. There might be something else in the area. They're not going to alarm call at a hyena. Copy, and we've got another hyena who's actually running back towards that area with the monkey alarm calls from Triple M. We're going to follow. Okay, so monkey's alarm calling, it's almost certainly lion or leopard, and now we've got this hyena jogging back towards there. Sorry, Jan, go again. Look at her, she's moving it. Oh, she went down that path. She's so quick. We're going to keep moving around. It sounds like probably the monkeys are at Sydney's car. Okay, so we're going to go back there. Now, when you hear monkeys alarm calling, there's something there. So let's go have a look. And we'll try to keep up with the hyena, but she's moving at speed. Now, monkeys might have seen a leopard, or even better, seen a leopard make a kill. They've started alarm calling, and whatever they're alarm calling at has made the hyena, who probably speaks a little bit better monkey than I do, excited enough. I just heard Taylor calling there. Sorry, Taylor, go again. Okay. Taylor's got female leopard tracks in this area. We've got monkey's alarm calling, we've got a hyena jogging. Wouldn't it be so evil? I almost wanted to, if we stole the leopard that dear Taylor is tracking. So I think that hyena is actually. Let's listen again for a second. Oh, look at the little bugs in the light, Dave. Isn't it pretty?
Beautiful.
So in South Africa we call little bugs like that muggies. Muggies, which are actually midges. So these are the adult form of aquatic insects. Now that there's a lot of rain around, they've bred and produced, and now the adults are out trying to make more midges, and they're going to live inside the water and have these massive emergences. I'm trying to listen for the monkeys again. Now, I was hoping that hyena was going to pop out here somewhere. She might pop out a bit further down the road. Hi, Annabelle. Annabelle says, how come hyenas have such strange postures and strange bottoms? Well, Annabelle, it's a specific design. So they've got those massive neck muscles and massive forequarters that enable such strength that able to crush bones, lift massive carcasses and carry them. And with that sloping back, they are perfectly designed for stamina. So strength and stamina are the hyena's two biggest positives. I just want to have a look on this animal path here. Just elephant tracks. And so a hyena is able to lope, and that's the type of walk they sort of do. They can lope for many, many kilometers. A hyena will move 10 to 15 miles in an evening scavenging. And oh my, let's just listen again. There's a little drongo that's floating around here, and you can hear the crested francolin. Ooh, very loud francolin. Where is that very loud francolin? Is it on the ground, or is it calling from in a tree? It almost sounds like it's calling from in a tree. Now, francolins, yes, it is calling from in a tree. You see it, Dave? Now, francolins are not often in trees. They're normally on the ground. Have you got it? Oh, a bit further back. Oh, it's flown. No, that makes me want to have a closer look in this area for leopard tracks. Oh, we can do a bird while we listen. There. Oh, a little bit up. There we go. Oh, where'd it go? There's a little chin spot Batises flitting around. The monkeys have gone quiet. Oh, it is going to be an absolutely beautiful morning. These clouds are dissipating. There's an incredible blue sky, and after rain, the sky is just so clear and so beautiful. Now, I'm about to follow up on a hunch. I think there's a cat close to us. And I'm going to listen for a little bit. I'm actually going to take a walk down through here. While we do that, let's see if the young guns actually manage to find anything except the wildebeest.
We have found some midges. You can see them fluttering around your screen. Not quite a mammal. It's a bit slow this morning, but that's okay. We can't beat Brent too badly, or whoever wins today, because you know we don't want to harm Brent's ego, of course, and this is all just friendly banter, having it and teasing each other. Now, we picked up on those leopard tracks, and we're going to hopefully try and see where they go now. We're going to head around and probably jump onto Zoe's road. It looks as though they were cutting towards the east slightly, so we're going to move away from the western sector. We'll leave it all to Brent, he can have it, and we'll try and have a little go around here. So, VM, you said we should go along Zoe's. Okay, let's go try and see if we pick up anything. But we know what the leopards are like, so we know the direction that this female is coming in, whoever it may be. We're not sure just yet. And we're slowly going to make our way sort of towards where Karula likes to cross in as well, if we don't have any luck this side, if nothing develops. So towards Twin Dams and that sector, and just check the Mulwati to see if there's anything coming in. Try and concentrate over here. Now, speaking of, there's obviously a lot of dispute as to how this mammal count is going to work this morning, and I know Eric was wondering if a whole pride or a coalition of lions, does that count as one mammal species, or do you count the individual? So I think what we're basically doing this morning is that if you've seen the first Impala is yours, and well, if I show you an Impala, it's not going to count for me. So basically, whoever sees any lion first, it can be a cub, it can be an adult, it could even be something, say a buffalo that's passed away. We're going to count them. Doesn't have to be living. Okay, Kirsty's now changing it. Kirsty's saying we're counting the same species. Oh, then I would have shown you 1,000 Impala already. Okay, then we're going to quickly find an Impala just to keep adding up. Okay, well that's okay then. That makes it a little bit better if we can all sort of find the same animals. Like I said earlier, we've just got to find smaller ones and ones that are going to be difficult for Brent to get on the list. Like I said, scrub hare, that would be a good one to find one sitting under a shrub somewhere. But I've also got to concentrate here because I don't want to miss any tracks. So let me focus for a second before I get too distracted. Alright, just double check here. It's a nice sandy area. Now the ground's a little bit compacted from the rain, which is not a bad thing. Means that it will preserve a track quite nicely, unless the ground is really hard already, then that will make it very difficult. But on this road, it doesn't seem to be the case. Now you'll see me sort of bobbing and weaving off the road for quite a few times, and it's just so that I can check the entire side of the road, because unfortunately I don't drive on the left-hand side, so I can't always stick my head over. VM helps me, of course, but he's also got to focus on the camera. I'm just checking here. Oh, it doesn't look like there was a leopard that was walking here just yet. VM, have you spotted any zebra yet? No? Not a leopard zebra. Where the Impala? Hello, Roger the Yeti. Now you're hoping to see some giraffe today. I hope so. I haven't seen a giraffe since I've been back, so that would be quite nice if we could get one on camera. So we'll have to look a little bit higher up, seeing as though they're so tall, and well, not on the ground and underneath the trees like where the rest of the animals sort of stand. Go back, just double check. So sometimes it's quite difficult, and what I'll try and show you, the best way to track is actually to try and get some sun behind the track to light it up. And if you don't, it can be quite tricky. Seems, I don't know if somebody's maybe driven here, maybe anti-poaching was doing their rounds last night perhaps, but it seems as though someone has driven this road already, and I know it's not Brent, he hasn't come here, which it makes it a little bit more difficult for us. Because anti-poaching is not necessarily looking for leopard footprints, and often they're doing their job, of course, which is super important, but they'll drive over our tracks, which makes the job a little bit more difficult for us. Come on, we need one animal. Where is everything? I thought we were going to wake up this morning, we had a bit of sunlight peeping through the clouds. We actually had a little bit of a sunrise, which is unusual over the past few days. And, well, I thought we were going to, like I said, wake up and there'd just be animals everywhere, sort of celebrating that there's a gap in the weather. Apparently not. Apparently it's just us celebrating. I'm not checking in the right places, VM. There's nothing that's come around here. This is getting a bit tricky. Well, I'm wondering now if perhaps the animal we're looking for is possibly the same animal that Brent is, he'd heard those monkeys alarm calling. Maybe they were alarming at the same thing, and I actually don't mind, and I'm not making excuses, Brent, just in case Kirsty feeds this back to him. But it's important that we find these animals, not for us, but for you. So whoever gets to find them first, well, as long as, like I said, as long as you get to see them up on screen, that will make me very, very happy. If I lose, I don't mind losing. It's okay. Hello, Max, who is age 6. Welcome and thank you for watching. So you want to know what is my favorite meat-eating animal? I have to say it's probably hyenas. Hyenas are up there, my favorite things. VM, what's on the other side? Maybe Jenna. Let's have a look. I probably squashed these tracks, but let's see if we can have a look at them. Ooh, Herbie's woken up. Herbie's, oh, I think we've got, hang on, I'm going to try and find a nice track for you very quickly. See if we can get it. VM, how's that? Is that fine? Let me do this. I'm going to jump out very quickly because I want to go and have a closer inspection on these tracks. And then what we'll do is hopefully, when I get back in, I'll quickly tell Herbert about the footprints. Let's look at this one over here. I want to look at another one. They're not 100% clear, so I'm just going to walk down the road. What have we got here? It's quite difficult. I reckon though, actually, I was getting quite excited for a moment, and I was thinking that maybe it's something like a honey badger, and I think it could be. The foot looks quite big now, a honey badger and a porcupine foot. But then I'm also looking here. No, I think it is. You mustn't double guess yourself. But just by looking at it, and it looks like it was from last night, we know that it's obviously a nocturnal species. And I think from this little digit here at the back, this gives it away. And because it's so broad, and because it's quite big, probably going to say that a honey badger was running down the road here. And I have seen honey badger on foot. And one day we did a bushwalk, we saw two running around this area, so possibly it's the same two that are moving around. Let me jump back in again. Okay. And with a porcupine you probably also see little quill tracks dragging on the ground, but not what we're tracking at the moment. Okay, it seems as though Brent is on the go. I'm going to have a quick chat with Herbie to see if he can help us with this leopard, but let's go over and see which mammal he's got for you now.
Well, I'm pretty sure it's the same wildebeest Taylor had, but we are working in the same area. Those monkeys have gone absolutely silent. But I think those monkeys were alarm calling around here somewhere. Look at it, isn't that beautiful with that light coming through? The poor lone male wildebeest waiting for the ladies. And of course the ladies have no interest in him at the moment. They only have interest in short, sweet grasses and looking after the newborns. Now we're sitting quietly and listening. Oh. So I'm just going to chat to Taylor quickly. I've got to give her as much help as I can, you know. Yeah. Just give her, she's going to look in the wrong place, but that she thinks I've already done Triple M, which I haven't, because of those alarm calls. We came back towards this area. I would say those alarm calls are pretty much between the Wildebeest and the Sunrise, where those monkeys were. And I'm hoping to hear the snort of an alarm call or whatnot. Taylor, I haven't done Triple M. I've come back towards Sandy Patch. I'd say those monkey alarm calls were somewhere between Sandy Patch, Aubrey's Road. So I'm just rechecking this area. Copy. Now, male wildebeest in this part of the world are very territorial, so very, very, very different from sort of the Masai Mara, and they will defend a short grass patch. Now, depending on the area, so if we look at this area here, this wildebeest defends Quarantine, Sandy Patch, all the way to Impala Plains, because there's not really great grasses in this area. So this is sort of a marginal area. But if we look at Norman and Normal Norman down on Cheetah Plains, they never move. They stay in that area. So he's got to defend a much bigger area with lots of thick bush between these little short grass patches. So the females are more likely to spend more time around old Normal Norman and Norman, and believe it or not, the same females that you see down there are very possibly the same females that come all the way up to Djuma. Shame, poor boy, looking for ladies. Okay, we're going to keep moving now. As I said, I think those monkeys were alarming somewhere in this area. I just want to really check slowly, and there's two possible female leopards in this area. One is Shadow, one is Kula, and Shadow's got a favorite tree in this area, so I'm going to go look there. While we do that, it seems like Taylor has managed to find another mammal. Finally.
We've managed to pick up on this sleeping zebra, as you can see, and it looks as though he's on his own, and it is indeed a stallion. And well, you're probably wondering, how on earth do I know that it's a stallion as he's sitting down? Well, I saw the bits that make him a stallion. They were sneaking out, so that was quite an easy one. But it's not just the zebra that we've got here. If you look carefully, you should be able to see a little bit of movement, some ears twitching, a tail flicking, and well, this antelope doesn't need any introduction. Unless you've just started watching and you're wondering what it is, well then, for you, this is called a Kudu. And it looks like Mom and her little one just sitting in front, not quite ready to get up to say, or maybe it's an adult, maybe it's just curled up into a nice tight ball. But that's what we're finding today, sleeping animals. But nonetheless, we've got two more animals to add to our mammal count. And I reckon that these will be safe here together, with a combination of fantastic hearing, really good eyesight, and they all look out for each other, of course. But the zebra, not quite ready to go anywhere just yet. He looks like he's obviously had a big night out, and well, now he's quite happy to rest in the morning light. And it's very warm. It's beautiful. Oh, here comes another Kudu. Hello, big girl. Yes, you're looking a lot more lively than that zebra this morning, aren't you? As she uses the luxury bathroom. Off she goes. A couple of oxpeckers also hanging around. And there's going to be an abundance of ticks at the moment too, especially after the rain. We've seen the... Oh, no, now the zebra's having a roll. I think he's felt the pressure now to possibly get up. Oh, there we go. Little Kudu just keeping a close eye, watching what that zebra was doing. And off they go. And what are we on now? 3 mammals. We're on 3 mammals. We're getting there. We're catching up slowly. Brent is still in the lead. Oh, I'm rolling, so I'm trying to start. We're gonna keep on moving forward. They're disappearing off into the thicket now. Bye, guys. But thank you very much for adding our numbers. It was a nice little interaction. And we've actually managed to get a couple more people on our team to try and track this leopard. I have a suspicion, like I said, that those monkeys that were alarming that Brent heard, another animal, buffalo. And I think that possibly, wonderful, Brent, let me go forward a little bit, there's a little gap underneath the trees, and well, we've got a stick covering the buffalo's face, but you kind of get what it looks like, don't you? And it counts, it's on the screen now, we're on 4. I think, are we tie now with Brent? I think we could be tie. No, we haven't really been seeing too many buffalo. I know Brent had quite a nice herd, I think it was about a week ago. Not a week ago, a couple of days ago. Which is lovely, because they aren't really around at the moment. The herds have definitely spread up and gone off on their way. It looks like we've just got 2 buffalo sitting down. Also, very much like the zebra, not quite ready to get up just yet. Let's see if we can get another look. Now, Megan was actually wondering this morning where had all the buffalo gone. Here's another view of the other one sort of sleeping behind the termite mound. So that's what happened, Megan, is as we get the first bouts of rain, whichever area that is, and it happens to be us up in the north, all the animals all flocked to this area, and it was wonderful. For a couple of weeks we were seeing animal after animal after animal. It was really fantastic, but this is always the problem, is that once the rain spreads and it covers different areas, they would have all fed on the northern sector, because that's where all the grass would have come up through all the new leaves, and now they have dispersed and gone south and gone further north of us. So most likely the big herds have gone down south towards the big rivers, like I always say, the Sabi and the Sand River. This time of the year we'd see an abundance of buffalo, which is wonderful. But it's okay, we're getting there, and well, it's nice to see those 2 boys. But what we're going to do is we're going to continue searching. Hopefully those vervet monkey calls will lead us, or lead Brent or myself or Rex or anybody that's trying to track this leopard to the leopard. And let's go and say good morning to Stef, who has just woken up.
For all our sakes, I hope that Taylor finally tracks that leopard down as well. And good morning to you. My name is Stef and you're on the bushwalk of this morning's sunrise safari. And it's going to be a good bushwalk, I must be honest with you. It is a beautiful day. Just have a look at this. Not a breath of wind, maybe a little bit of a breeze. Sun shining, clouds are out there, so hopefully it won't get too bakingly hot by the end of the safari as well. What are we doing on foot? Well, the last couple of years of walking around here on foot has taught me a thing or two about this place, and that's what I want to share with you. I enjoy all the small things, a little bit of bushcraft, insects, bunch of things that you never even thought that you'd see before, a bunch of things that I never even thought that I'd see before, and that's what we're going to be concentrating on during the walk. Actually, it is interactive. As you can see, I have a final control in my head, which means that you can ask me questions. It's easiest doing it through the hashtag Safari Live, or in this particular case using an email address, questions@WildEarthTV. And even if you don't have a question, if you just have a comment, if you've ever wondered what it's like walking around in the wilds of Africa, please just send it through, and I'll try my best to answer as many relevant ones as we can throughout the next couple of hours. Now, we have been asked to give a hand in the search for this leopard around Impala Plains, so that is what we're going to be doing. That is west. Impala Plains lies, I don't know, probably about a mile, just under 2 miles from here in that direction. So we're going to be slowly going into that direction. And what we're primarily going to be doing to aid the search of the leopard in any case is to listen. I am not a very good tracker. Even I can follow footprints, but I'm not the best tracker around there. I'm also not as tenacious when it comes down to following leopard as what Brent is. But with us being on foot, we don't have the background noise of an engine bothering us, and it allows us to basically listen to the bush around us. So for alarm calls, monkeys, Impala, Kudu, anything like that, any disturbance that leopard creates in this area, we will be able to pinpoint and help bring the cars in for there. But before I do, oh, it's flown away. Oh no, it hasn't. Have a look here. Alice, I'm going to get to your question about golden orb spiders in a second. Have a look at this hopper this grasshopper. It's an immature form of an elegant grasshopper. That's what it's called. Just have a look at the face on this guy. Isn't that incredible? Now, those colors are deliberate. They're not meant for camouflage, quite obviously. They're meant to send a very clear warning, and that warning is, do not catch and eat me, I am poisonous. And that is exactly what this grasshopper is. This grasshopper is incredibly distasteful. In actual fact, some species of this type of grasshopper can kill dogs, can kill humans just by putting them in your mouth. This one not so bad. You'd have to put this one into your mouth and chew through him to do any damage. And they get about 4 times this size. How's my shake there this morning, Jandre? Am I able to manage it? I'm busy holding my arm as tight as I can to stop this shake that I develop. But that is the hopper for an elegant grasshopper. Oh, there we go. And that is bounced away. Now, Alice, to get back to your question about why don't we see, or why haven't we been seeing a lot of golden orb spiders at the moment? You know, last year we didn't see a lot of golden orb spiders at all, and it was because of the drought. The insect load last year was very, very low, and I don't think a lot of golden orb spiders actually survived, which means that this year I would expect that there are not that many eggs from golden orb spiders, and there's this vacuum of spiders. By this time, if it was a normal rainfall year last year, we'd already be seeing the bush sort of draped with massive amounts of webs. And I'm hoping that because there's this void, the few golden orb spiders that were around last year, their babies will have such a much better chance at filling these niches. So I'm predicting, holding thumbs, that by January, February we will have a lot more golden orb spiders than what we have at the moment, and it will sort of build up year on year. I'm hoping that as this drought sort of falls behind us and we move towards a wetter cycle, they happen in sort of, well, let me say they happen in my life. They've happened in every 10-year cycles. Drought to floods to drought to floods again, roughly every 10 years or so. And I'm thinking that over the years it'll pick up to a point where you won't be able to walk through this bush. Every single space that you can imagine will be covered in golden orb web spiders. And then the insect numbers, of course, will dive down, and then we'll have another catastrophe like a flood or another drought, and it'll kill the spiders again. And so things are constantly in motion and and doing their thing. We're looking forward to seeing how this year recovers from last year's drought. But anyway, why don't we go see what for the life of me I can't remember my colleague Taylor. Why don't we go see what Taylor's up to? She's got some Impala to show you.
We finally got some 2 young male Impala, but I very quickly want to jump onto the radio. Good morning. Is there any updates for Arathusa? Let's hear. I managed to pick up a spot where I've got signal. Ooh, hang on, there's a double transmission going on, which means that 2 people are talking over each other, and this is where my multitasking skills are a little bit difficult. Sorry, mobiles, there were 2 of you that spoke over each other. let's see, maybe they've got a cat for us sneaking around, but we got another Impala, so that's exciting. There you go. Morning, it's Taylor. Yes, I can copy you perfectly. Copy, thanks. And anything on Ngala or Ingwe? Copy, thanks. Okay, wonderful. So, unfortunately, well, not wonderful. No cat updates just yet. Ooh, but Ryan wants to talk to me. Let's go. Morning, Ryan. Go ahead. A copy. Thank you very much. Right, and we got a couple of updates, which is wonderful, which is quite nice. So maybe we'll actually pop onto Arathusa and have a little scratch around there, perhaps try and follow up on those lions. Now, I apologize I didn't talk too much about those two Impala, but those were two young boys that I think have recently been kicked out of the herd. Their mothers have said, I've got a new baby now, and you are boys, and you have to go off on your own because you are big and strong now. I think probably she said something along those lines. So off they go, and hopefully, well, they'll be able to fend off any leopards or lions that may be lurking around. And hopefully they find a big of a bachelor herd that have got a little bit more experience than the two of them. Now, we'll probably jump into Arathusa somewhere along here. I'm just quickly checking Triple M though. I just want to have a look and see if those lions haven't perhaps crossed out and onto our side. We'll just do a very little slow drive along here and double check all the roads. I think I'll leave the leopard search to Stef, who's got Herbie with him, and Brent, and I think Rexon's on it as well. And hopefully with the four of them, they'll be able to pick up a spotted cat for you. Wouldn't that be nice? And I think I'll my focus to maybe trying to find the kahumas this morning. I haven't seen them for a while. I miss them a little bit, and I'm sure you miss them too. Okay. On a road, right, and there's a couple of gremlins hopping around.
Excuse me not making eye contact, but I've really got to keep the spider that I want to show you in full view. But first I'm going to paint some context for you. Right here is some termites. Now I'm still not looking at you, I'm still looking at that spider, because you'll see now why. And this spider is hunting these termites. These termites have been feeding on these pieces of dung, and I've lost that spider. No, I haven't. These termites are feeding on these dung, and this spider, this particular spider, has the most amazing ability to hunt for these termites. Come look right here. Here is the spider. Oh, there we go. Okay, there it is over there at the end of my finger. That spider loves termites. It's called a sand diving spider. Isn't that the most descriptive name? A sand diving spider. Let me just move around it. Here it is here. And like its name would suggest, it can cover itself with sand by diving into it. Now the sand's wet at the moment, so that's why the spider is on the surface and we've been able to see it. But it then hunts and basically ambushes termites on the side of these feeding areas where the termites have been feeding. In actual fact, he just looks like he's caught one. No, he's just carrying a wing of a termite around. What for, I'm not sure. Maybe the spider wants to camouflage itself with a termite's wing. Right here. And you'll notice the turret that its eyes sit on top of. So this spider can bury itself in the sand, keeping just its eyes above the surface. Now, a fairly common spider, and especially around termite mounds or where termites have been feeding, but incredibly difficult to see because of this fact that they are virtually invisible. If you don't see them moving, and in particular if the sand is quite loose or the substrate's quite loose, they will disappear right in front of your eyes. Sand diving spider, one of those that you can tick off as a first on Safari Live. You don't see a lot of them, and I haven't been able to successfully show you a sand diving spider since I started walking over here. So I hope you got a few nice screenshots. You can put that in your archive of weird and wonderful things to see and label it sand diving spider. And we got that one. It just disappeared. Now I've taken my eyes off of it for 1 second and I can't even see it anymore. Crazy. All right, come through. Now, Marco, you've put in a request for something that we can try. You've asked for some water or some aquatic insects, something like a scorpion or those waders, those whirligigs. Yes, I'm sure we could. I'm just in my mind racking my brain as to think, where are we going to find some permanent water? Where are we going? I'll keep my mind open. I don't think where we were walking to in the direction of this leopard there are actually any permanent pans. But let me carry on racking my brain. We'll see. You know, we could always find a wallow that's full of water over here, and that will have its little bit of aquatic life in it. And here we have the smallest of the click beetles. I love these little click beetles. It's the acacia click beetle. Watch here. Let's see if he'll do that. I found a bigger one the other day on a walk. This is one of the smaller ones, the acacia click beetle. Come on. No? Don't want to click for us? Come now, man. There we go. You see them? There we go. Engage there. It's a mechanical click that they do. There we go. Come on, do it again. One more time. There we go. Every time I've put them on my hand, they don't want to click. This is when you pick them up. Alright, no problem. But they're quite classically click beetle in shape. The acacia click beetle. Let's put him back on his stick. Alright. There you go. Well, on that note, and while we go and find Martin some pans to go and look at, why don't we go and see what Brent's up to and get an update from him.
Now, we've checked that area where I thought I heard the monkeys alarm calling really carefully. And one of the problems is the monkeys never lie, so I know there's a catch here. But a monkey sitting in the top of a tall tree will often see something a kilometer away. So they were alarm calling over there, so I've now extended my search to our western boundary, and I'm looking very, very carefully around here, just looking for any little hint of a track. Now, apparently young Taylor has caught up, and we're on 4 mammal species each, but I'm not worried. Oh, apparently Taylor is beating me. She's on 5. You know what, Dave, should we let her get like 1 or 2 or 3 ahead of us before we actually start trying? And in the meantime, I can hear one of my favorite birds, oh damn it, it flew, squawking. A brown-headed parrot. It was on a white berry bush, and it's flown up ahead here. We're just going to go very, very slowly. See if we can get a view of that parrot again. Now, you will not believe the difference a couple of weeks make. And of course, we've been through one of the worst droughts in South Africa's history, and we had amazing visibility, but now that it's rained, everything's greened up and thickened, so it has become a little bit more difficult to find animals. And also the other thing is that a lot of the animals have spread. The zebra, the elephants and buffalo, and that's causing the lions to move bigger distances. Leopards a bit different. Oh, it's just so pretty, Dave. Look at the bugs, the muggies, little midges. Yeah, so we've been watching, that's the second time we've looked at those flying hohos, or bugs, and Marianne is wondering, with the midges and mosquitoes, is there a chance we could get malaria? Well, not from the midges, Marianne. We actually have almost no biting midge species in southern Africa. Other parts of Africa, there's some evil midges that bite the absolute daylights out of you. And mosquitoes, there is a possibility. This is a malaria area. It's a low-risk malaria area. But malaria is something I know quite a lot about. I've had it. Dave, guess how many times I've had malaria? 12. More than double that. I've had malaria 29 times. So, and I've had, out of the 4 different strains in Africa, I think I've had 3, including Vivax, which is one of the really bad ones. But don't tell my dad, but I'm going to quote him. Malaria is not serious if you take it seriously. So, and that's a very, very important thing. So malaria is only dangerous if it goes untreated for a prolonged period. Now, unfortunately, after having malaria so many times, I know the symptoms very, very well. And for those of you wondering what the symptoms, it's basically like common cold symptoms, but you don't have a snotty nose or a sore throat. You've got sort of sore joints and fever, and depending on the person, some people get nausea, some people get diarrhea, some people get both, which is unfortunate. I only generally get nauseous, and that's that. There's actually a finger prick blood test, but for me, even better than a finger prick blood test, all you do is you lie on your left side, take your hand, you place it on your pelvic bone and place it down to your stomach. By lying on your left, you move your stomach off your spleen, and if you push, and it's incredibly painful, almost certainly you've got malaria. Now, what happens is your spleen enlarges, and quite often when people have malaria, they'll go to a doctor, say in London or New York, who's not used to malaria, and walk in there and the symptoms point to gastro or anything that's quite innocuous and not serious. And then they'll take a blood test, but unless you take a blood test when the fever is up, you can often get a negative result, because the malaria parasites go in and out of your liver and other organs, and when you have a fever, that's when those parasites are out and your body is fighting them. And when you don't have a fever, you actually feel almost fine, but of course you still got malaria. They're just hiding, they're not swimming around in your blood. Fortunately now, I mean, in my case right here, I have 2 courses of malarial meds, and I actually carry them around with me wherever I go. Okay, so no sign of any tracks yet, and of course the rain has caused lots of things to explode out of the ground, and Taylor has found one of those things that have mushroomed out of the soil, but we just remind Taylor it's not a mammal. Let's go have a look.
You know, you learn new things every single day. Thank you, Brent. I wasn't sure if a fungi was a mammal or not, but I'm so glad that you've cleared that up for me. So thank you very much. Always learning from the wonderful mentors that I have here at Wild Earth. Now, we've got, it looks like a forest of these little fungi that have all sprouted up. It looks like they've probably sprouted up overnight in some feces from something that was defecating near the water source. So probably something like an elephant or maybe a buffalo. I'm sure there were a couple of different things, but it's not just the mushrooms that I've got to show you. There are 2 white-faced whistling ducks here at Red Dam. That's correct. We've popped onto Arathusa now, and well, here's a perfect opportunity for you to get some little screenshots, well, and a reflection screenshot too. So remember, we love to see your images, so you can hashtag Safari Live on Twitter, and well, then we can see your beautiful pictures, of course, or you can email them questions@WildEarthTV. Remember, you can do the same things that I've just mentioned to you if you do have any questions for myself, Brent, or Stef this morning, and we'll happily try and answer them. But aren't they lovely? They're very common birds, but we don't see them too often up here, occasionally, and you can actually see them in massive flocks down in the Eastern Cape, in the big wetland areas that we used to have there, the marshlands. We used to see hundreds of these beautiful birds, and they're very common, like I said, in South Africa and East Africa. I reckon that their populations are probably anywhere between about 1 or 2 million. They're that common, so not really a bird that we have to worry about just yet. To go extinct, they seem to be coping very, very well. But they're beautiful. White faces, dark heads, red sort of neck. Looks like they've got stripes covering their body. They're lovely. Isn't that beautiful? That's such a nice way to start the morning. And there's a couple of other things. I'm looking for the weavers. We've got a few nests that look like Christmas decorations coming sort of off the twigs that are twining and bending through the big buffalo weaver's nest, but it doesn't look like there's anybody home. They almost look like these nests have been abandoned. And the only ones that are there hopping around are, of course, our trusty buffalo weavers. But they're coming in and out. I haven't seen any juvenile buffalo weavers just yet, so I wonder if they've fledged. Also not hearing so much chirping around the nests. Oh, hello. Who are you? No, buffalo weaver. Always hard at work. Coming to, of course, strengthen the nest. Oh, that's a prickly branch that you've got there, or twig, I suppose I should call it. That's a good one. A snake wouldn't like that. Oh, there's a couple. And I think of all the birds, I think the buffalo weavers, they need the credit. They must be some of the hardest working birds that we have out there. And I'm sure you saw that. No wonder those weaver nests have been abandoned. If they get kicked like that, jumped on by the buffalo weavers, I also wouldn't want to have my eggs in that nest. Here you go. Oh, now they're fighting. Did you see that? That one got a peck. Having an argument as to where that stick should go. Or no, you're not supposed to be using that kind of branch. But you wouldn't want to stick your hand in there. I reckon that would hurt quite a bit. Now we're going to make our way probably around towards the Arathusa airstrip and have a look and see if we can find some jackals, maybe some elephants or anything else that hopefully will be roaming around there. And that's going to take us some time to get around that way. So let's go back to Stef, who's also managed to find an African land snail.
I have got a snail. Just have a look at this, everybody. A giant land snail in the open, feeding on some or other type of mushroom garden that is just sprouted up literally in the last couple of nights with all the moisture that's been around. Just have a look at that. In the open, engulfing this fungus. I must say I wouldn't say envious, but it's admirable. Most of the fungus out here is quite dangerous to eat, and these snails, they go from fungus garden to fungus garden eating the most unbelievable amount of toxins. I don't know how their systems synthesize all of that. How do they digest it? What do they do with it? But have a look at this soft-bodied creature make a meal out of these mushrooms, and all in the open for us to have a look at as well. The two large eye stalks and then the two smaller eye stalks at the bottom looking at the fungus, being able to see and generate a picture probably in a much wider field of view than what you and I see. It would basically be like seeing, I suppose, the ground in as much detail as what you can see the tops of the trees at. This is very, very, very awesome. And now finished, not all the fungus, left 2 or 3. The largest land-based mollusk on the planet is what you're looking at right now, the giant land snail. And you literally couldn't be any closer to its head than what you are right now. Now, let me show you how big it is as a bit of scale without giving it a fright. There's my index finger. Probably about as big as your fist. So for the ladies, put your 2 fists together. That's how big it is. For a man that's 6 foot tall, bowl your hand, and that is how big this land snail is. You can see I'll do it over there for you. And stretched out at least a hand span big. Incredible. This guy's got some damage on the top of his shell. Something's trying to peck at it. Now, funnily enough, it's not an animal that is or a mammal that is the giant land snail's greatest predator. It's in actual fact the larval stage of Lampyridae, which is all the fireflies and glowworms. It is the larval or the immature stage of them that feed voraciously on these giant land snails. Oh, just have a look at how beautiful that is. Beautiful sunlight on him. You can actually see that eye spot at the end of the stalk, watching you with as much attention as you watching him or her. It actually. It's actually just, there we go. Have a look at that. Genre magician. That is really, really awesome. Now you might be hearing a slight noise in the background there, sounding like an angry swarm of bees. That is Connor's drone. He's busy flying overhead at the moment, so don't worry about me being attacked by a swarm of bees immediately. Now, it sounded like Saxon, you've just asked me, in an emergency, could you eat these giant land snails? Saxon, no, I've never seen any reports or heard anything from anybody that says that you can eat these giant land snails. I mean, eating snails is quite common in the world. Would I like to eat this snail? I don't know. I don't know enough about the biology of these particular giant land snails to know if they actually harbor any of the toxins that they're taking in their food, if they are harboring those toxins inside of them, and if it would taint their meat in any case. I mean, I would imagine you could probably, if all snails could be eaten, I suppose you could eat this one as well. What we use the snail for in a survival sense is the shell. You find a lot of the discarded remnants of after the firefly larvae has killed the giant land snail. You find a lot of their shells lying around, and they make for the most unbelievably good receptacles for water. You can scoop water out of pans, you can boil water in them to purify it. They make nice cups out here in the bush, and that's what I use it for in a survival sense. Could you eat a giant land snail? I suppose, let me throw that question right back at everybody out there and see, you know, are all snails, can we eat all snails, all terrestrial snails, in the similar to how we eat snails in a restaurant with a little bit of preparation? I don't know, you know. Send through your comments. Let's see if we can get some feedback during the walk and see if we can do any of that. Now, Connor, I'm told, has got the drone in position for you to have a nice look at where we are and what we're doing here with this giant land snail. The land snail, when you do go to Connor, the land snail is between us. So between where you can see Jean-Ray's camera pointing and me, the land snail is between us. See if you can see it from the height that you're at. I'll give you a bird's eye view, a vulture's eye view of what we are doing and what we are looking at. And I'm told you can see this with the angle of the morning sun. The shadow of the trees and the shadow of us are standing out in some detail. Nice. Not every day you get to have a batelier or a vulture's eye view of what we're doing here. The snail is now moving towards me, if you can see it, right here. Nice. I'm told that you can see our shadows and it looks very, very nice. This is what we do. Crouched over. We have the backpack off, which is why Jean-Ray doesn't have the pack on his back. So you can actually see that this, there you can see again just the sheer size of this land snail, that this cup in actual fact probably holds about a cup of water as well when it's empty, and there's a lot of them around here, so you know we can use them. But coming back, if you found out anything about can you eat or can't you eat these snails, you're welcome to send it through to that hashtag Safari Live or questions@WildEarth.tv and I'll share it with everybody. Question is, in case you missed the first one, can you eat all terrestrial snails? With a little bit of preparation, with the question, the real question being from Michael, in an emergency situation, would you be able to prepare the snail in some way and have it as a meal? Just look at the way that he's moving on his bed of mucus, which is laid down by this very muscular foot in order to lubricate his passage over the sand, but there's no noticeable muscular contractions. A snake, for instance, would use a series of muscular contractions to move in a motion called rectilinear motion. That's how the pythons, anacondas, rattlesnakes and puff adders move across the sand in a conveyor belt type way. Rectilinear motion is what it's called. There is no noticeable contractions in the foot, the muscular foot of this giant land snail. Let's turn him around so he comes back to your side. If we do it carefully, they don't even know that they've been picked up. Mildred, you're absolutely right by making the comment that the snail shell grows as the snail gets older. They do have these growth spurts. They start out probably about a quarter of the size as what you're seeing there now. I've never seen a smaller giant land snail. The only time you see them when they emerge out of hibernation is at about a quarter of the size. And if you have a careful look on his shell at this one coming towards you, you'll actually see these lines. Now those lines are growth spurts in the direction that the snail shell is twisted. So you can see the growth spurts that this snail has had. As to how old they get, I'm not too sure. They definitely won't just live one season. There's no doubt in my mind that they live much older than that. As to how old they actually get, I'm not too sure there, Mildred. I don't know enough about snail biology to say that this snail is, every single one of these lines would equal a year, for instance. I don't really know, but you can see that those lines that you can see over there, those are marked growth spurts in the development of the shell. Whether or not that is annual marks or they have a couple of growth spurts through the season, I'm not sure at all. Alright, we're going to leave this giant land snail to his wanderings, and we're going to send you over to Brent, who has probably got an update on those leopard tracks for you.
Hello. I am rushing somewhere so far, and we're just going to cross the Mulwathi River quickly, and there's nothing in the river. Now we're heading towards Cheetah Plains. A little birdie in my ear told me there might be something fantastic down there, so we are moving there. We're going to go follow up on some tracks. I have good news for me, bad news for Taylor. Taylor is on Arathusa. She is looking for the Nkahuma pride. I just bumped into someone on the road who's informed me that the Nkahumas, we must be happy for the Nkahumas. They have killed yet another surprise buffalo. But unfortunately it is outside of our Travis area to the west. And I know we are currently behind Taylor in the mammal species, but as Dave and I discussed our plan, we're going to let her and VM get ahead, and then we just, we'll rush from behind to claim the victory in a blaze of glory. Hopefully. Watch all. What's it there? The road to hell is paved with good intention, but I'm still quite confident, and so we're going to head towards Cheetah Plains, and that should hopefully rack up the mammal species count. And we haven't seen zebra or waterbug, quite a lot of the common kudu, so we've still got a few things in reserve that we can look for. Oh, I'm afraid you're picking up a lot of wind, and that's my fault. Let me just fix this quickly. Is there less wind now? Oh, we're not moving. No, okay, that should be good. My mic just popped out of the inside of my hat. There we go. So that should be much better now. Sorry about that, but I was so excited about going to Cheetah Plains. What could it be? What could it be? Whoa! Yo, that was close. That was very close. Because that was definitely not moving out of my way. You can see it's moving at high speed at the moment. It's a baby giant land snail going at top speed. Turbos on, 5th gear, flying across the road. You know what I'm actually going to do is I don't normally do this, but this is such a busy road. We're going to help. Sorry, Snail, I know you're going to scare, but otherwise, some delivery vehicle coming to bring food to the lodgers who are not as observant as us, and we might drive over him. So I'm going to take him off the main road. If it had been a normal game drive road, I wouldn't have done that, but because... Oh, ow, I've pulled my hair. Ow, there we go. So, but because it is a main access road, and there's a lot of people who aren't safari guides who drive up and down this road, I think it's prudent to take the snail off the road. Now, hopefully, by the time we come back, he hasn't changed his mind and gone back onto the road, because literally I think it'll take him about an hour to get back to where he was. Okay. So let's work out what species we'd like to get. Look at that, Dave. On that fallen tree there. You see it? Is it juvenile bateleur? Now, I know I am rushing off to Cheetah Plains. Oh, he's taking off. Okay, that's changed my mind. So a juvenile bateleur on the ground or on a tree like that, let's just see what he does. Would make me think there might be a carcass, but the fact that he's taken off, he might have been after termites. Is he going to go? Where is he going? Yes, no, he's going. Is he landing? Yeah. I think he might have seen something he thought was possibly a carcass, but is ignored. So we're going to keep moving. Now this is an area where we might bump into Tundi. This is her hood. This is where she likes to hang. Look at me, I'm down with the modern lingo. Marco. Marco says if we bump into another human, does that count as another mammal? Marco, I think you're right. Now, fortunately, there's a trick to this. I don't count, but off, hands off. Off, there we go. There's another human. There's another mammal species.
Another one for us.
There we go. Well done, Dave. Yes. There we go. That's another mammal species. And ladies, aren't you lucky you got to have a look at Dangerous Dave the Dish? And it comes